I really enjoyed working with Marcus. He uh, he wasn't always. He pushed me really hard, and sometimes I was scared to go to the lessons if I hadn't practiced, because he wasn't the type of teacher who was gonna make you feel good all the time. Like he would let you know uh, if you were not putting into it what you should be putting into it and what he thought it was worth. And it took me a while to like fall in love with it myself, so and develop the work ethic for it. Um, so he really held me accountable for my growth and development to the instrument from the second I started studying with him, which I think I was probably like 10 years old when I started studying with him. Um, so yeah, having somebody like that who who uh, who just taught me discipline from that age um, was invaluable.
Awesome. So, what did you learn, and did it help you achieve like your ultimate goals as far as music?
Mm. Um, well, I learned a lot of things. I mean, just as far as there's a lot to be learned when it comes to playing trumpet. But the biggest thing he taught me was he kind of ushered me and helped me really personally fall in love with jazz music, which I think was kind of something. I remember when I was when I was um, when my parents were deciding who to have me study with, they got two recommendations, and one was Marcus, and one was this other guy who was teaching a lot of students in that area, and he was a classical trumpet player. Um, and he talked to my parents, and he said, "Well, who else are you considering?" And they said, "This guy, Marques Carroll." And he said, "Oh, well, Marcus is only going to teach your kid how to play jazz, so like you probably don't want to do that," which was not true at all. I mean, Marcus just taught me how to play the trumpet. Um, but when he noticed that I kind of had a more natural excitement about jazz music and about the idea of improvising and that kind of stuff, he he really made sure that I understood the history of that music and that I was um, listening to the right, not the right stuff, but stuff that actually is considered jazz and will stimulate growth and will set you down the right path. Um, but more than anything, he just taught me to love it more than anything, which started the whole path that I'm still on right now. So yeah, everything I'm doing right now is was influenced by Marcus.
Okay, that's awesome. So, next question: was the end product achieved? So, meaning, did you get good video footage for auditions, and were you able to pass the auditions and get into like colleges and camps?
Yeah, I was pretty lucky in um, when I started thinking about that kind of stuff and doing programs that would lead to going on to study music primarily after high school. Um, so I was able to be a part of the Grammy band and the Bale Jazz Workshop, um, and I ended up being given full tuition and room and board scholarships to schools I didn't even think I was going to get into, to specifically go study jazz trumpet. So um, I was lucky to have options going forward to keep playing and keep studying this music, and Marcus definitely helped with that.
That's awesome. So, like right now, are you currently playing professionally? And I guess he wants to know, like, did he attribute to that? But you kind of just answered that, so definitely. But are you playing professionally now?
Yeah. I'm still in school, in grad school at the Herbie Hancock Institute, um, where we play. We're in school together, but we play out in professional spaces as a group. And then I live in LA where that program is based, and freelance out here and play with people on the scene, peers and older musicians. And yeah, um, starting to, it's kind of been a transition from being in school and being in spaces that allow me to practice, but also allow me to be a professional, to like only making a living off of music. But I'm on the path.
Definitely. And can you name like one or more times, excuse me, one or more times that's really stood out for you when you were working with him, and then what you took away from that?
Mm. Um, well, I guess the first stuff I would remember would just be when I was really first starting to play, and just um, a lot of people would come. Marcus, well, I grew up in the suburbs, and Marcus would come out and teach out there, and he would teach like 4 or 5 students in a row, and a lot of the time it would be kids who you know were kind of in their head more like paying a babysitter than somebody to like really make their kid uncomfortable and teach them discipline, and make them work hard. And Marcus was not gonna do that, no matter what the situation was. Like, he came out and he insisted that everybody show the instrument and the music the respect it deserved. Um, and so I remember, I think I was in 4th grade around this time, so maybe um, probably like 10 years old, 11 years old maybe, and I knew I hadn't practiced that much for the lesson that day. And so I actually stayed in for the lunch period, and I skipped lunch, and I found this little room to practice in, and I just practiced and crammed for the lesson, because I knew that Marcus was not going to give me a break if I didn't have my work prepared, and then when I went in there, when I went into the lesson, it was always, even though we were being serious about the music, it was all love and all just, we developed a relationship where he feels really something like an uncle to me, and like he was in my life from a really young age to, I mean, until now, in a really formative time of my life. And 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 yeah, he he genuinely exposed me to something that I don't think I would have been. I mean, I may have been, but I don't think I would have been exposed in the same way, and made to love it in the same way. So yeah, too many memories to really pick two, but I definitely remember, I have a lot of funny memories of him not taking any of my crap as a young man,
Yeah, I definitely get that from him. I haven't known him very long, but I definitely can get that from him. Well,
Sure.
that's pretty much it. You did an awesome job. I really appreciate you taking time, like I said, to answer these questions, and I'm sure Marcus appreciates it as well. Is there any like last things you want to add or anything?
Oh, just thank you, Marcus. Thank you for caring about me, and believing in me and taking me this far. I'm grateful for you. And
All right, thank you so much, Aiden.
thank you.
That wraps it up. I appreciate it. All right, you have a good day. Okay.
You too. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.